was like 6 seconds. 6, 7, 7, 7, 7. It's still going. Let's rock. And all you solutionaries out there. This is Lou Ramirez, the car guy.
And this is Fred Lenartz, the subprime hero.
And if you are listening on the podcast or you are watching us live, we want to say welcome to the first ever Fixed Ops Friday.
You know the deal.
So excited.
I'm excited
big
time, man. This is something that was in Clubhouse, and right now it's getting ready to come over into this new world of Facebook. New world of Facebook. It's not new, but this is the place to be, and we're bringing it over here. Clubhouse, I know that there's people still there, and we'll probably bring it back that way, but what we're going to do is we're going to bring it to Facebook where the people are, right? Where everyone wants to engage. We also are going to be live on LinkedIn, so we're live right now on LinkedIn and YouTube. So if you watch us on YouTube, what's up? If you watch us on LinkedIn, what up? If you're watching us on Facebook, hello,
happening?
We're all here. We're ready to go. And we have two amazing friends of ours, man. People that we've been able to grow with, but to all these conventions with, high five with, and get some hats with, right?
Oh,
yeah.
yes.
Swagged out right now, but I'm excited to bring them on the show today. Fixed Ops Friday, every other Friday. And we're going to be doing it, bringing some guests, bringing some stuff. We're going to have some new people come on every week that we can, try to bring some information to help you guys get better in that department. Because I'm going to tell you something. That's what it's about right now. There's so many opportunities for us to grow in Fixed Ops, so let's go.
So make sure that you do yourself a favor and do your friends a favor and tag a car guy, tag a car gal, and share this around.
Share.
Man, let's get this rocking and rolling. Car guys and car gals, we want to go ahead and just get this music started right, because we do have history that's happening inside of the cafe. Though this began inside of the club, we got to get that music flowing with us right now and bring this into the cafe the right way. Let us welcome the one, the only, Owen Moon. And right there, batting next to him is his incredible partner who's making incredible things happen in the industry, the one, the only, Brad Paschal. Yeah, here we go.
Man, both alumni of the show, both two of our good friends, and we're excited to have you guys. Fixed Ops Fridays. This was an idea that you guys have had. You started in Clubhouse. We're bringing it here. Brad, I'm excited to have you, man. Why don't you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, man. You know, it was a thing that Owen and I had talked about there's not a lot of, there's some, you know, like shout out to Ted Ings, who does a fantastic job, and shout out to the guys at Fixed Ops Magazine. But there's not a lot of places for people to really get together and share best practices and talk about topics on a real-time basis, like you do on those on TED Ings. You know, for for the sales side and the marketing guys, we have NADA, we have digital dealer, but there only might be one or two fixed ops things each time. So we try to do it like more of a Q&A style, because we have big networks and we rely on those guys, and our job is to connect people, right? It's not always Owen or myself solving the problems, but it's connecting this guy that's doing this thing with mobile service over here to this guy that's thinking about doing something. And I think that's the beauty thing about Fixed Ops Fridays, is it was connecting people to solve problems. And that's a different type of solutionary, right?
That's right.
That's right. That is the best type of solutionary. And we're excited to have you guys on this show. We're excited to share the story. We're excited to extend the life of this, because this is important. Like you said, this is something that, there's other things like it, but there's nothing like this. This is unique. It's like every dealership. There's no dealership, as you guys know, with the 600 plus that you guys have put together with your company, which is amazing. Applause to that. But we'll talk about that some more here in a little bit. But as you know, every dealership is a snowflake. They're similar, but they're ran differently slightly. They have different managements. They have different speeds of how they do things. But so it's very delicate how we do so. So our shows are the same. There's so many podcasts out there, and there's some great ones out there. So I could shout out tons of them that I love and I listen to and I follow and I support. But Car Guy Coffee is a great podcast too, right? We're all unique. We're all different. Much like this opportunity here for you fixed ops folks, for you people out there who just need a little bit of injection in your life, you dealers, for you people who want to get into this industry maybe, and you're thinking about fixed ops, you don't want to really get into the sales side. Well, though there's tons of sales in fixed ops, my friends, tons of it. And matter of fact, very, very profitable sales in fixed ops. And they have tools for that too. But that being said, I'm excited, man, as you can tell.
I didn't notice.
I don't know.
Did not
but
notice.
Yeah, this is fun, man. And this is leading into so many other things. We also running into next month, and I want to make an announcement. I want to make an announcement that they are now going to be teamed up with us, and they're going to be big sponsors for us. We're going to be, not only doing this show with them, but we're also going to be raising their flag up for them every time we can. And we're going to be at these events, hanging out with them, seeing them. Hope you guys come check us out. It's going to be a lot of fun. When you put together two teams like this, the dynamic duo of us with the dynamic duo of them two, come on. I'm just telling you, what energy can bring, but brought except for the best energy. So I'm excited about that too. So Lou, I'm gonna pass that to you.
I appreciate that. But there is a lot that's actually brewing inside of the industry. And we're so thankful that everything that is brewing in the industry brought us together from all over the place. We actually get connected with one that's up in Iowa, right? And Brad, where are you at again?
No, Owen's in South Dakota, Lou. Come on now. You're not in Iowa.
To me, you know why he's in Iowa to me? Because my son is right over there in Sioux Center, right?
Oh,
so
nice.
I can actually go see you. So I call that Iowa just because that's our way in. But it is South Dakota. Man, you are in the cold, my friend. What does it feel like over there?
Yeah,
it's 60 degrees here today, actually. So we're enjoying this early spring weather. But it's a unique situation with our company because we're headquartered in Denver. That's where most of our staff is. Our production team, our technology team, our customer support, things like that. We've got a performance team that a lot of them are based out of Chicago. But then we're kind of spread out. I'm in South Dakota. Brad's down in Texas. We've got a sales rep out in Maryland. We've got a sales rep out in Oregon, and a couple performance managers as well. Kind of all through. So the nice thing is that we when we put this company together, it was. I didn't look at it and say, well, I got to hire everybody in South Dakota, or I got to hire everybody in Denver. We were looking for certain people that fit a need. And more importantly, I was looking for people that had experience and that could help us really take this thing to new levels fast, because as we were growing at such a fast pace, the last thing I wanted to be doing was losing clients on the back end because we didn't know what we were doing. So that's kind of how it started. Obviously, a little over a year ago, we had a chance to bring Brad on, and just kind of speaking of the clubhouse thing, he actually kind of was brainstorming one day, and he said, "Hey, I'd really like to start a Fixed Ops Fridays on Clubhouse." And of course, I'm a little older than him. Not really a big clubhouse guy myself, but I said, man, go for it. Let's see what happens. And Brad, I think you can say that first run at it was definitely good for you and good for our company. But we kind of knew that we needed to move it into a little different avenue. And so, obviously Fred Lewis, we've been talking about trying to get this thing going and kind of what would be the right fit. It just made a lot of sense that Fixed Ops Friday became the the movement for us. And like you said, I mean, or like Brad said, it's not just about me and Brad and you guys. It's getting the right people involved so we can educate and we can coach and train and bring people in that know a lot more about this side of the business than all of us combined. So
boom.
And he manages to connect that from all across the country, whether we get it right or not, right?
Absolutely.
We know where we're at or we're not, right? We're right here, right now, and you actually connect all those people inside of Clubhouse. That is an incredible app that does connect people all throughout the world and gets everybody an opportunity to, one, bend the ear of somebody that actually knows something that maybe we don't know, right? And for us to silently listen and be able to receive some information that a lot of times we'd have to really chase some people down or find ourselves inside of a room where some geniuses are. We do that inside of Clubhouse, and that's incredible that you do pull that together, Brad. And this is where we're trying to keep getting this word out there, is that the solutions are out there. You just have to have the conversations with the people, right? You just have to start having those talks. Yep. And you guys keep that going consistently. And that's why you're over here with the Yakaholics on Car Guy Coffee podcast, because we want to make sure that the word gets out there about who's really brewing solutions, who's really trying to go to the next level and make those connections happen. When we talk about connections happening, right? Tell us about what NADA was like for you all. What was that actual Connection Central event like for you guys this year?
It was unreal for us. I mean, and I'll let Brad catch on in his experience with as well. But it's been a couple years since we obviously exhibited at NADA. Would be in that 2021 was virtual. I think I looked at a video that I did back then, and I think we were at about 200 clients right then. So obviously, in 2 years to grow another 400 plus clients. Was huge for us, but more importantly, there was a lot of these guys that we've never met, right? A lot of these guys, gals from all sides of the business, right? Whether it's digital marketing people or service directors or fixed ops, corporate fixed ops directors. A lot of these people I had never met before. So it was great by getting them, by having a booth and having a place where they could come, to meet our performance managers that they been working with every day for the last 2 years. And then we kind of did something neat as well, is that we thought it would be really, really fun to interview some of our guys, right? Some of our clients. And so the backside of our booth, we had our whole marketing team there, and we had people stopping by, and they were just giving us little couple minutes on video to tell us, hey, what's your experience been working with us? How do you, where do you see the industry going? And of course, we can use some of that then for our marketing now as we move forward over the next 3 or 4 months here. But it was amazing because, like I said, it was a lot of customers I've never met before just because of the travel restraints that we've had. I had one guy specifically tell me, he goes, I know a lot of people that work for you, Owen, from different companies and things like that, but none of those people are here. So these are all new people that I've never met before. So, it's a testament to how big we've actually gotten in the last 2 years, even though, we've all been sort of in this environment, right? Zoom calls and videos, that type of thing. So.
I agree with you 100%. It was an amazing event, and what's so cool is that there's been a lot of great events over the last 12 months, but NADA was by far the biggest. I mean, it was like 3 times bigger than any event that I've ever been to when it came to the size of the venue, right? To the amount of vendors that were there set up. I mean, oh my goodness, everybody was there for that. They all, even if they just, the 10 by 10s, a small one, they were there and they wanted to be part of it. If they were just in the hallways, they were there. This was a place.
It was humbling for vendors, for us. I mean, you go to Digital Dealer and our booth is good size. It stands out. I mean, everybody loves our green, obviously. And, but then you go to NADA and you start to kind of realize how small you are in the massive automotive industry that we all serve every day. And so, that was interesting because I hadn't seen that in a couple of years, right? It's been a while. So,
oh yeah, you're right. But I'm going to tell you, your booth, and I'm not just saying this because you all my homies, but your booth, you could find it very easily. It stuck out because of your coloring and how you guys do it. It's open for us to come in and just walk in and say, hey, what's up, right? And I like that about the way you guys present. So if you're gonna do it, that's the way you do it. Sometimes those big booths are great, but sometimes they could be just too much. Right. And, I've seen both sides of the coin on that, but there was some really nice booths out there. We were fortunate to be part of the Poly booth, and the Poly booth really was the booth, man. It was amazing. I was just really nice setup. I actually could love that setup again.
That was great.
But that being said, but you guys did a great job there. I saw a lot of great companies. We got a chance to walk around very little. I know that you guys have your own booth and those types of things, it's hard to really go look around too much. I saw Brad running around really quick with a couple things of swag in his hand. It was a few times, and we appreciate you stopping by and throwing shout outs, you putting the finger pointing at us, all those kind of things. And we love you guys for that. Brad, let me ask you this, man. For you, what was the biggest takeaway from NADA for you? Because this is your first NADA with Fixed Ops Digital, right?
Yeah. So there was a couple takeaways, right? Is that not only did we have a lot of customers come by, but we had a lot of vendor friends come by, right? And say hi and show support. And we're very thankful for that, because a lot of times you can have animosity on that side. And we're very thankful for those people that come by. And it's cool to see like your friends do well, right? And I think another thing that we get from NADA that might be more important than the leads and the stuff is we get to put our finger on the pulse of stuff or problems or things that our people are going through, right? Like they're going through things in stores. And so we don't use that time just to do leads. We use that time to gain information so that we can stay tapped into the industry. And I think that's a beautiful thing about Fixed Ops Fridays is Digital Dealer only happens twice a year. NADA only happens once a year. Driving Sales only happens twice a year, right? So by us having this show, if you want to send in questions or topics that you want to see, you can send them to me at brad@fixedopsdigital.com. Then we can make sure we're staying relevant, right? We can make sure that we're staying in the trenches and solve those help you solve those problems real time, right? With either other experts or Owen and myself or Fred and Lou or anybody that we need to connect you to. And I think that's the cool thing about NADA is really staying in those trenches and that close connection and that and then meeting guys like Marcus Amon at Bailey and Mike Hanna at True Spot that are doing like just fantastically cool stuff to move forward in the industry. Because let's be honest, we do everything to set our salespeople up for success in dealerships. It's time that we step up and do the same thing on the service advisors and the technicians and the stuff like that. They're behind technology wise. They're behind with KPIs that they can make actionable data on. And so that's our mission.
I love it. And excited to be part of this mission with you. And so let's take that in. So we have the big event, right? We have the big convention, and then we also have our space inside of Clubhouse. And now we're getting to actually attack it with video and having conversations and interviews like this, where we convert it to a podcast and will be available for people to jump in live or not. Thank you so much for everybody that's been in here so far. Hannah, Wendy, excited. Wendy says she's going to catch it on the replay. Excited about that. Make sure that you do. And everybody else, make sure that you do catch it on the replay.
Yeah, it's this. I know that we threw short notice out there on the time and stuff. So I know a lot of people are going to be seeing this on the replay. They're going to be like, what is this? We didn't even know this was happening. Like Fixed Ops Fridays. Yeah, it's happening. So this is going to be consistent. Every 2 weeks, we'll make announcements days before. So you guys will be there for the live version of it more so. But like Lou said, we do break it up into little bite-sized pieces. It will be turned into a podcast also. So you will be able to get on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, anywhere that you listen to your podcast, iHeart. I don't care where you listen to it. That's where we're at. You will get pieces of this all day long. So if the show is long, you're going to just get bite sizes. If it's a short show, you'll get the one show. But we're going to make sure it's out there everywhere, every week. So I'm pumped up.
Yes. And as we make sure that it does get out there, and there's plenty of ways for you to get some of this, let's talk about what it is that you're actually going to be getting, because I know that these guys are so pumped up to be able to bring you these solutions and have these conversations. And we're going to have some incredible guests on the show, right? We're going to have a great time trying to find solutions to the problems that people are facing now. Brad, tell us more about the stuff that people should be expecting to happen inside of these conversations as we're brewing together.
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you some of the conversations that we had in Clubhouse, and we pulled out a technician recruiting white paper out of Clubhouse. So Owen and I worked together and the team, our marketing team's fantastic. So we pulled that out of Clubhouse. We're working on service BDC type stuff. So that's a hot topic right now. The technician recruiting, like I said, is super hot topic right now. A lot of service AI is super hot right now. Along with Google My Business, right? We'll have some Google My Business experts come on and tell you how to fine tune some of your Google My Business service and parts listings, body shops, collision. that's stuff that gets alienated from dealerships because not every dealership has it. So they don't really talk about that a whole lot. And then Owen has a lot of Fixed Ops contacts. He's been in this way longer than me. So I'm sure that he's going to influence some, his network to bring some guys on that you guys might have never heard of. And I'm super pumped about it because
you're dating me now, Brad. Thanks.
Hey, you've been in it longer than me, but I think you have way more connections on the Fixed Up side than me. My job is to bring the strategies that we have on the sell side and help them work on the Fixed Up side. And Owen has those guys. So, Ed Roberts, guys like that are just brilliant, that do a fantastic job. Patrick Brown, David Long. I'm sure we can get some of those guys in here. Here's
what's cool. Here's what's cool, Brad. Let me just kind of reiterate or add to that. Here's the thing. Brad and I are marketing guys, right? I've been doing this 22 years. Brad's been in stores. He was at a big agency prior to joining us. So, we have this very, very kind of siloed, kind of mentality with marketing, and we're really good at it. I mean, I feel like we do a good job, but let's be honest, you get into the processes of service, you get into the part side of the business, you get into service BDC, Brad mentioned, those aren't our expertise. So, for me to come on here and say, hey, this is what I think you guys should do for service BDC, that's not fair to the audience, right? That's not fair to people that are looking to win in that area. Or is it fair to me come in and talk about my product and just say, hey guys, let's just talk about me and Fixed Ops Digital and what we can do for you. So we want this to be more educational. I really feel like that's one thing that Brad does really well, obviously, and Kevin Colmo is one of my business partners, and then myself. We've always sort of been, the educational type of people. I've been speaking on the circuit for a while. I just got approved to be a 20 group NADA speaker. So, it's always trying to educate and give people more information so then they can go out and do their own research. Hopefully they come back to us when it comes time for them to, evolve their online service marketing and really want to kind of turn that up a notch. But we're only a small piece of it. And the rest of it's got, just like anything, right? We always say people, product, promotion. And, promotion's always number 3 for a reason, because you got to have the people and you've got to have the product. And of course that's different on the Fixed Ops side than it is on the sales side, but it still holds true 100%.
100% agree. So let's talk about a little bit of product real quick, just a little off subject. Let's talk about these lids, right? Because I understand Brad said that you might be a little dated in there, and we understand we do got a little bit of a swag pack going on here.
Man, we got like the collector's edition, right? And speaking of events, we go to all these events, and each event you guys bring something special. You bring a different hat. You get so where that person got it when you might have met them. So if somebody's rocking it, you're like, oh man, that's right. I saw you at Digital Dealer 2000. Yeah, you know what I mean? So it's like, that's right. I remember when you were there. So tell us about that. Tell us the evolution of the hat. We got to go through that because there's some really cool hats, and we're all wearing one that's slightly different. So what's going on?
Yeah, just real quick. So I'm a sports guy. Grew up playing sports. After I stopped playing, like in high school and college and stuff, I started coaching. So one of being a marketing guy, one of my creative sides is always developing uniforms, right? So I had travel baseball teams and basketball teams for my kids, and even before I had kids. And so I would design all of our uniforms and then send them off to the printers and all that stuff. So hats, obviously, in softball, and we're 25 years playing competitive softball. Hats were always kind of our thing. We always came up with really cool hats that we wanted to do. And so one of our first conferences, I'm like, man, I want to give away some cool hats. So you're looking at kind of the OG hat. We've been doing this so long. I got, this is my OG hat. And, it was a complete hit. All of a sudden, everybody was like, oh, give me that hat. I love these hats, And so we just, every time we go to a conference, I was designing a new hat to give away. And Brad brought it up before we got on here that it's kind of like, oh, that was from this conference and that was from this conference. Of course, Brad's a hat guy too, and Brad's got a whole nother hat story that I absolutely, one of the reasons what drove me to Brad as a friend before he became part of our team was how sincere he was and how just motivational he was, and sort of his hat story. And I'll let him talk about that. But that's how the swag started, right? We just became the swag booth, and this year we gave away hats at NADA. We had these little like whiskey glasses that we were giving away to people that were doing testimonials for us, and different clients that came by, and we were hooking them up. Yeah, we hooked up Fred and Lou in preparation for our partnership here, and everyone loves our swag, so we always try to outdo ourselves every conference. But that's kind of how it started. I've always been a sports guy, and hats obviously with baseball and softball are a big part of that. And we used to trade hats in softball. Like you'd bring a handful of extra ones, and you trade with another team that had a cool hat that you wanted to rock outside of the tournament. So that was kind of our hat story. Brad, why don't you tell them a little bit about your hat story? Because obviously when you came in, our hats weren't good enough for Brad. He had to go go make his own hats. So
yeah. So when I first started selling cars, I was trying to think about, hey, whenever you're selling cars, you're always trying to do what's best for the person, but you're trying to remove obstacles like that they have or roadblocks that they have so that you can help them. Right. And so I started thinking about my dad, and my dad was a plumber growing up, and we always wore a hat. Like when you're crawling under the house or when you're doing this, if you hit a nail on the top of your head and your hat's not there, you're going to have a mark. Right. So my dad, I started thinking about my dad, and his hat was, always had his name of his company on it, but it served multiple purposes. And so I said, all right, here's what I'm going to do. This hat's going to be my psychological anchor. So when I put this on, it's time to go to work. When I finish work for the day, the hat comes off, or sometimes it goes backwards. And so it puts me back to center before I start my day. And then Owen allowed me to make my own hats because mine are fitted, and they have like my little here to help saying on the back, which is just kind of like you guys. You guys are solutionaries. I'm a problem solver. That's my deal. I don't care what kind of problem it is. Matter of fact, I'd rather you bring me a problem that you don't think I can solve, because it makes you tested by fire, right? And when I say tested by fire, shout out to my buddy Brian Coda, that passed away this week. It made me think of the flame. So Brian with the flame on his name, great solutionary, great friend. In my market here in Amarillo, known him for almost 10 years. So wanted to do that. But that the hat represents something for me to where it makes you approachable. And I think that's all about what me and Owen want to be, is like in the company, is we're super approachable, and we're problem solvers. And we have a fantastic group of people at Fixed Ops from all different backgrounds. We don't hire brand new people to work with our clients, because we believe that they deserve the best. And so we might even share some of the hiring practices and stuff that we do at Fixed Ops, because it's really important for dealerships too, because that's kind of the hat story, is that psychological anchor and get me ready for the day. But I'm going to do something right now that's really interesting, and Owen's going to probably freak out on me. So if you come on the show, if you email me and you come on the show, you'll get your own special edition Fixed Ops Friday hat.
Oh, snap.
Only if you come on the show. So that's exclusive. So if you send
maybe even a couple whiskey glasses, we'll throw that in.
But,
okay.
But we'll custom make Fixed Ops Friday hats. But you have to email and come on the show to get them. So,
dude,
what's up? Y'all heard it.
You guys heard it here. Come on,
you heard
Fixed Ops custom hat special by Brad Paschal, the man, the myth, the legend, the promise.
No, Owen's the guy that designs them all. I'm just signing him up for that. This is,
and Owen threw in an extra, but there's more. Whiskey glasses too.
But wait.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
And that's what this is. This show is going to have so much more, folks. This was a great intro. We wanted to get you guys knowing what's going to be happening. We're going to be bringing, like we said, special guests, and I can't wait to show you who they're going to be. We're going to announce some stuff. We'll probably start letting you guys know about a week before the show who the guest is going to be, what's going to be happening through little posts, through our videos, through our own show, and then we're going to put out promos. You guys will see links to it within a couple days before. So be looking out for those out there in social media. Be looking out for what we're doing, what what we're trying to share. Fixed Ops, here we come. Car Guy Coffee, we are all about it because we are about that industry. We're about people like Owen and Brad and everybody who's out there trying to make a difference in every little facet of automotive right now. And Fixed Ops, I'm telling you something, folks, it's where it's at right now. I know a lot of dealerships that wouldn't have made it through what that we just went through if it wasn't for their Fixed Ops department. So I'm going to tell you, get with it or not get with it. I'm going to tell you something, the get with it's the best way to go.
I agree. 100%. They need to be brewing solutions.
You know, that was kind of an obvious thing, but you know,
with these incredible guys, we are all about pointing out the obvious things, right? Like that when Solutionaries get together to try to make some good things happen, great things just happen.
They do.
So if you want to be a part of the solution and not be percolating problems, you need to be reaching out to Brad at fixedopsdigital.com. Make sure that if you have a subject you want to learn about, you have no excuse now. You can go ahead and tell us what it is you want us to talk about, and we're going to talk about it because we like talking. But this is about the end of this talk and this cup of coffee and conversation with a couple of car guys that are brewing solutions in Fixed Ops. But you know what we got to do before we finish any show with the Car Guy Coffee podcast is we have to forgive, focus, and fly so that we can keep growing together. So car guys and car gals, those of you that are driving, those of you that are watching, help us out. Brad, Owen, let's brew on 3. 1, 2, 3. Forgive, focus, and fly, and keep growing. Hey.
Man, that was a great show. I'm Fred Lenartz, the subprime hero,
and I'm Lou Ramirez, the car guy.
And we have the
dynamic duo from Fixed Ops Digital. Let's get ready to do this. Owen, Brad, we are so thankful for both of you doing what it is that you do for the industry. And car guys, you better make sure that you join us
every other Friday. See us in 2 weeks. Let's go.
Peace. Share it around. If you just jumped in, go watch the replay.
Hey,
watch the replay.
They're out there everywhere. Let's go.
Get you some. Oh, do we need to let everybody know one thing?
One more thing.
Fixed Ops Digital is 100% CGC approved.
That's
there
right.
You go,
we
everybody.
Appreciate it.
Now
so
you know.
Fixed Ops Friday.
Let's brew.
Peace.
Bum, 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 bum. See